Okay, live chat. Just figuring it out. Welcome one, welcome all. How am I coming through? 5x5. Great to see. Great to see Facebook kicking in, and welcome. Hola, Philip. Great to see you. Can I get a 5x5? How are you coming through? How am I coming through? 5x5. No sound. I see. No sound. Where is there no sound? Check it out. Can I get a 5x5? Newbie says I got 5x5. Absolutely. Happy days. I do beg your pardon. I do beg your pardon. Margaret Woods joining us over on Periscope. Great to see you, Margaret. Keith Cookman giving us a 5x5. Great to see you all. We have 5x5 from N. Rishtard over on Facebook. Great to see you. Sean Cody, great all. Welcome one. Sound is good from Stephen Slevine as Facebook joins us. And you can see D-Live and Twitch joining us. We'll just wait. Give me a second to get my bearings. 5x5 from Linda. Great to see you over there, Linda. Let me see. Is there a way of highlighting those? You can see it. You can see them here just up beside me as they all roll out on the ticker tape. Welcome on. Great to see you, Steve O. Great to see you, Sheepdog. Welcome. Fantastic. Okay, everything seems to be in order. I have everything here that I could possibly need. Let me give you a quick look at the picture behind my back, which I took over the weekend. I'll just jump out of the way too, and hopefully the sound will still come through. Let me know if you can still hear me. Just a little bit of mucking around over the weekend. Great little picture. I'm really proud of that one myself. You can find that one. Over on my Flickr account, but I haven't advertised it just yet. I am hoping that Grania joins us today. I know there were many demonstrations down in Cork and also down in Belfast, or up in Belfast, I should say. Lots of events happening as we bring the live chat back in. But sweet, it's great to see you, Paul. Frogs and all are in there. We're going to leave it be. Let them have their fun, as we say. Fantastic. I only have one article I want to bring to your attention tonight. Again, this is a test broadcast, and very much everything is happening here in front of me. I hope you're happy with the outlay. I want to read a very interesting article, something that I think we can all strategize, and something that we could learn for. This was written for the United Kingdom, but I think it plays well for us over here too as well. And I think it's something that we could possibly use as a tactic, maybe one and all, to try and use. Great to see you. I'll just bring in some of these up. Okay, that's great. Okay, like I say, this article I want to read through. I have a host of articles, but I'll leave them till the morning. And first of all, I want to apologize to my BitChute. I've been very remiss to talking about BitChute and advertising BitChute as the alternative, as the go place. And what I propose to do is some exclusive content for BitChute. You'll see that transpiring. Things that I can't talk about on the YouTube, because I will be uploading this over on YouTube afterwards. Ian Ristard says, Dolores sounded fabulous. Dolores gave a great speech today down outside Cork. I believe there was a few of our members from the live chat there as well. And also Jean had her event outside the GPO yesterday. It was very well attended, apparently, Jean. Jean, also, you'll be so happy to know that I will be throwing a link out. If anyone wants to come in after I get through the article. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on what happened. If anyone was down in Cork as well that heard Dolores' speech, we'd love to get your input. And I am working on a way to bring your feed, your camera, from your recording of those events, and you can broadcast it up here, and I can display it over. Well, as the room fills up, and it's great to see so many of you joining me here, YouTube, I'm afraid you're going to have the pre-recorded version, so don't forget, those of you tuning in on YouTube right about now, this is pre-recorded, and you're viewing it after the fact, an hour or so later, or whenever I can get it up. Stargirl joining us over on Twitch. I hope you're enjoying that platform. I know the setup here now is very much geared towards Twitch and D Live. Eve over on Periscope lets us know that it was a brilliant speech. And Jean shouting it there, well done to Cork. Fantastic as well. Great 5x5 from Brenda. Brenda joining us over on Facebook. You can have your say if you want to join in with me after I read through the article. Okay, Rishtard, great to see you over on YouTube. After I read through the article, we will have Jane, if you're going to hang around, or if Grania does come in, because I know Grania was speaking up in Belfast today. I'd love to get your input on that there today, on those events today. I have just the one article, as I say, just the one article to bring to your attention. Hopefully you won't hear a noise here when this transition kicks in, because I'm finding it very difficult to remove that sound. But let's give it a while. Let's see if it kicks in. No, we seem to have muted it. Live chat, is that not working over there? It is indeed. Hopefully that live chat is still working as well over there as it fills in. Can I get another comment over there on D Live, just to make sure that the chat feed is working over on this stream or on this page here as well? Or will I carry on regardless? I'm sure it'll happen. I'm sure it'll kick in as we go through the article. Okay, like I said, please pay attention if you could. Listen up to this article. I think it's about a 6 or 7 minute read. Good. It's kicking in over there as well, so you can see it. Hopefully you're all happy with the new layout, the new sound. I hope the sound is coming through 5x5 a little bit more crystal clear. We are rising. We are bringing it up as much as we can. You remember at the early days, we had an absolute terrible time with the sound, but I think with your help, we've elevated it up just a little bit more, and the sound is starting to kick in now. Rather fantastical. Right, let's get straight into this article as well. And please give me your thoughts afterwards if you could, and we'll go through it together. And like I say, I'll throw out a link when we're finished reading through. The most dangerous man to any government is a man who is able, let me see, he's able to think things out for himself. It's not fitting in there too well. Let me just make a little adjustment to the screen there so we get the whole phrase in. My bad. This comes from the author, a proposal for resisting the headlong dash towards totalitarian Britain. I'm sure we could use this strategy from over here. Bev, great to see you, Peter. Great to see the gang coming back in together again, all the new faces and all the old familiar friends. Great to see you all joining me here now. Okay, let's get straight into this. Let me know if you can read the script. I'll probably boost it back up a wee bit now. Ooh, not that one, says I. Not that one, this one here. Let me just bring it up there again so you can read through along with me as well. Okay, the problem. It's apparent to me that COVID is a Trojan horse. It's being used to facilitate the introduction of a command economy to Britain. The audacity of Parliament is evident, and in a very few months, I expect that it will become impossible to instigate any peaceful change. In this emergent command economy, every facet of your personal and business lives will be under the control of the state, a totality of control. We know the forced medication is on the agenda, enthusiastically supported by collectivists in the health service. I consider this development to be the single most dangerous assault upon humanity that I've ever experienced. It is a declaration that your life and body are the property of the state. If that declaration does not enrage you, then you are worthless in my estimation. What is needed is some simple, direct, and powerful means of resisting the state's intrusion. I contend that this begins with the delegitimization of the Parliament. You can transpose this over to here, as I say as well. After all, if you believe that the state is exercising legitimate authority over you, then what the hell are you complaining about? You should shut up, mask up, and roll your sleeves up for the injection. Resistance. Resistance begins with a single word, no. But how do you say no to the government? The first thing is to understand that you can't do it by voting, nor by protesting. Each of these is an endorsement of the government's authority. And I remember pausing that and saying to you as well, that protesting, even in the word itself, is tacit agreement. I am unhappy with what you're doing, but I tacitly give my consent. We need to withdraw our consent, but this article will lay it out a little bit more in more detail for us. The first thing to understand is that you can't do it by voting nor by protesting. Each of these is an endorsement of their government's authority. In fact, there exists no formal mechanism by which the ordinary person can reject parliamentary governance. But it is entirely possible to create such a mechanism at no financial outlay. Saying no requires that you inform your electoral registration officer that you no longer consent to the governance of Parliament and that you demand to have your details removed from the electoral roll. If done en masse, loudly and publicly, then the establishment will be placed into an impossible dilemma. Does it admit that you are free to reject its authority, or does it demand that you must be subject to its will? The advantages of this simple action are: it costs nothing. You don't have to get off the couch. You avoid street protests, travel disruption. It's non-violent. It's very simple and potentially very quick to instigate. We seize the initiative from the establishment. Inclusive, no financial outlay. Disabled people can protest. Relatively few participants required. A political party would need some 15 million voters. You and I were taught the myth of consensual governance from our earliest years. We are taught that consent provides the state's legitimacy, its right to govern. You and I were, if you were to be governed without your consent, then your condition would be no different from that of a latter-day plantation slave. That is, you would be subject to the master's will, irrespective of your feelings on the matter. My proposed strategy will expose this myth of consensual governance and place the establishment into an impossible position. Here's why. This strategy might be perfect for the people of Liverpool who have already shown some cohesion and willingness to reject the establishment's impositions. There's no reason that it can't be applied on a local level. Bravo to the citizens of Liverpool and all the young folks, and the young folk just getting out there and enjoying their life and putting it back up to the establishment. The nature of our democracy: every interaction that you have ever had with another being has been conducted in one of three ways: A, consensually; B, by force, coercively; and C, by deception, fraudulently. There are no exceptions. Coercive force and fraud are universally held to be wrongs and are very often crimes. It follows that relationships between people should be consensual if they are not to be criminal. This is the reason that you will hear the following phrases: quote, "You are governed by consent," and quote, "You are policed by consent," because the only option to consensual governance is criminal governance, where the governed are coerced or deceived. Got to figure out a quicker way to snap that on and off. This is the reason. My apologies. So how does the state gain your consent? Well, first of all, it does a lot of assuming. If you aren't kicking and screaming, then your consent is assumed. Well, Your Honor, she never said no. More importantly, the state gains your consent via the process of electoral registration. When you become a registered elector, you make your mark. In doing so, you enter into a contract with this corporate body that we call the state. That still applies over here as well. The contract goes something like this, quote, "I agree to abide by the decisions of the collective and of its appointed representatives. I may try to influence those decisions via the process of elections, lobbying, or peaceful protests." That's the essence of it. You renounce your autonomy and choose subservience to the electorate and its representatives. This is your written consent to governance. It doesn't matter that your favorite politician failed to get into the Commons. You agreed to abide by the judgment of the collective. So, if your political enemy gains power and arranges the bombing of Libya, you consented to it. And if your political enemy gains power and introduces a policy of forced medication, you consented to it. If you disagree with what I have written, then please explain to me the process of democratic consent and the meaning of the electoral registration. Imagine the politician's consternation when a body of people withdrew that consent. He must either recognize those people's individual sovereignty, or else that you shall be governed with or without your consent. He must concede that his statute laws are nullified, that he has no authority to levy taxes, nor to issue license and permits. He must concede that his policemen have no authority. And, of course, only remaining tool is force. As I said, an impossible situation for members of the establishment. What's the establishment to do? Well, I'd be beyond naive were I to expect it to just roll over. More likely would be a campaign of character assassination, subversion, propaganda, and new legislation. Ring true to anything? But none of that would matter. The thinking man would see beyond the bluster and recognize the claim that is being made by the state upon his life. My proposed strategy will certainly not halt the headlong rush to totalitarianism, but every journey begins with a single step. It's impossible to predict the outcome of these actions. Requirements. In my estimation, 50,000 participants would be enough to carry this proposition. Forget all about majorities. They are meaningless when we consider these issues of sovereignty. In fact, the most people will only act when spurred by charismatic leaders, someone of a perceived stature. So I think it's vitally important that such a person throws his weight behind this proposal. That person is not me. There needs to be an organizational structure which collates the names and the numbers and to trust information into the public forum and under the very noses of the parliamentarians. If these requirements are met, then I would judge that things could happen in a matter of days. Western politicians are much exercised by voter dissociation. They already fear the disengagement of the electorate from the democratic process. We can capitalize upon their fears. Alternative strategies. Let me see. Alternative strategies. You'll be familiar with the emergent proposal to fight the state's expansion by using various methods. These methods include street protest, legal action, formation of political alternatives, and regular voting. It's my contention that all of these approaches are doomed to failure. Street protest is historically ineffective, expensive, the language of petitioner and the beggar. Legal action requires that states censure itself. I mean, the judiciary are codependents upon the state. All of the judiciary's privileges and status derive from the state. Alternative third parties have a long and lamentable history of failure. More importantly, you simply do not have the time. The British, nay, the Irish establishment is moving so rapidly that it is beyond a forlorn hope to expect a third party to save the day. Such parties require decades of construction. You have, at best, a few months in which to act effectively. Regular voting leaves the initiative in the hands of the establishment. We already know that the propagandized majority will go right along with the rush to totalitarianism. In any event, it could be years before there is a chance for an election or a referendum. I'm biased, but I do believe that my proposal is the best one to date. It is novel and potentially very powerful. It is also my contention that the logic is unassailable, but I do stand for correction. Let me see, where are you? There you go. I'll just buzz that across there. I will drop that link now into the description box there for you now. Live chat. You may want to hang on a sec. Hold on there, Buster. Let me see if I can. Stop it, would you? Would you stop it with your messing? What is this one here? Photo, and then back over here. No, I'll drop it in the description box after the fact. I don't know what you thought of that one there, but again, I want to bring in, I'm going to throw out a link for those of you over on Facebook. Fill up the green room there and come on in and say hello, and we'll see if that works as well, because it might be a way to bypass Discord. So I'm afraid, unfortunately, it is only for Facebook friends at the moment. Those of you over on Facebook, link going over to you on Facebook. Come on in and join me in the green room. First come, first served. And I will see if I can drop the link into the article there. Now, give me 1 second there, live chat. I do apologize. I think it's on the bookmarks here. Waiting for the green room to fill in. Over on history. There we go. Okay. Copy. Okay. I have it sussed, she says. So the link to that article is heading over to you over on Facebook there now. Do disperse and do with it as you will. I find it very enthralling. I think it does have some merit. Why isn't that? That's not working for some reason over on that one there, Imelda. Again, I'll drop the link. Into Facebook again. I know I did see some of our regular contributors there. They're probably getting ready Get them ourselves all set up. In the meantime, how about we have a little listen to the intro? I don't have any other songs for you at the moment, but I'm building up a collection. I don't have that one at the hand either, or do I? What I do is I go to my library. You go to your library, Mr. Croft. Indeed. What is the general conversation? I know Jean is also over there. Great to see you over there. Melissa. Melissa was down in Cork today where Professor Cahill was speaking. Made a very triumphant speech down there, apparently looking forward to hearing anything a lot. If not, I'm quite happy to have you back in the morning. If anybody wants to come in the morning. And what we do with Imelda there is we say bye-bye to Imelda. Cheerio, goodbye to Ty. I love it when they pop their heads up. It's like whack-a-mole. Band. Band. You're all bloomin' band, says I. Huzzah. Yeah. What albums? Let me have a look. There we go. Oh, we've got someone kicking in at the moment, but Tanny joining us in the background. We'd love to see your put your camera on for us there as well. We do need to see your face. Little children. Tanny, stick the old camera on there for me, Tanny. We'll leave that alone there. It seems to be putting too much pressure on the processor there, but all going well so far. I hope you're enjoying it. Something different. I am working on the new outlay. I hope you're enjoying this fabulous background I took there over the weekend of the Wicklow Mountains. Tanny is joining us. Tanny, are you ready to come in? Great to see you, Tanny. I'm going to bring you in there now. Let me see it. Hopefully this works out. Boom. When you finished eating your dinner. Tanny, tell us, what have you got?
What have I got for my dinner?
No, you're on live there now. You wanted to speak, you've got to come in. Yeah.
Oh, gee. Okay. I made a mistake.
Not a problem. No, walk away. Go ahead there, Tanny. Yeah. Oh, no, I think he made... Tanny was ringing us in to say hello and didn't realize it was coming on live onto the show. But there you go. These things happen. Hope you're all having a giggle in the background there as we await for someone. As Annie, can you hear me? Can you hear me calling? Don't worry about the headphones. It's temporary setup because of the state of the pandemic, because of the difficulty in getting around. As we here in the Republic of Ireland face into level 4 lockdowns, which are being rolled out. I thought I gave him plenty of warning there as well to come in. But what I did notice there is, I don't know if you've seen it, but the dual feed didn't come on in again. So I'd love, Jane, if you want to come in, just to give it a test while we're here, just to see if it does pick up the sound, and if it does pick up the call, then we can stick with the StreamYards like we have been doing from the onset. And what I am noticing here is, Melissa's going to jump in. Great to have Melissa. Melissa, let me see if this works out again. We'll try it again one more time. I know it's working over on Facebook, but I don't think you were seeing it over here. You're live there anyway, Melissa. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me? Sorry, I can't find your earphones at the moment. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Oh, perfect. I don't have to put the earphones in. Great.
Just go ahead. You were down in Cork there. You were down in Cork. No. Sorry about that, Melissa. It looks like it's too much pressure on. It looks like it's too much pressure on the feed there. You're after freezing up. My apologies. Doesn't look like it's going to work out. We'll have to wake it up, and I'll see if I can do a StreamYards tomorrow morning. Bring in. Melissa, I can't bring it in. It's putting too much stress. Let me try it again. Try it again there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Yeah.
Oh, we can hear
Loud
you.
and clear.
So over on DLive and Twitch, you're hearing the audio. Over on Facebook, you're seeing the visual and the audio. Go ahead, Melissa.
Just fantastic show up in Cork today, the old Rebel County Fair Play. We've been pouring it out there for weeks. And the Stand Together group that we started down in Cork came together for Dolores Cahill today, and the Irish Freedom Health Defence Force. And that's who we are. We are the Irish Freedom Health Defence Force. All of us, every single person that stands up for their child, for their elderly parent, for people with cancer in Ireland. We're not just the Children's Health Defence Force getting information from Robert F. Kennedy or the Ireland Freedom Force. We are the Health of Ireland Defence Force, that we take cases against all these people, and we go to the solicitors and we go through the courts, as corrupt as they are, and we find the good people out there, because there's a lot of good people out there, be it in the Guardian, the solicitors, and we will take this to courts and we will take it to another level. And Dolores Cahill gave one of the most outstanding speeches that has been given, in my mind, since 1916 in Cork today. And it
Really that
was
good?
very emotional for those that have died unnecessarily, the children that are mentally health suffering unnecessarily. And a big shout out to Charlotte there and Etifia, that were very part of our team on bringing that forward today.
Great stuff.
And special thanks to the Stand Together Cork that actually helped arrange all of those people coming together and we getting out that word. And like you and I said, I think, quite nearly 6 months ago, that get out in your own local community, Rowan, is what the word we have been putting out. And Cork today is a prime example of what we have been working on behind the scenes of getting out locally, and like that everyone, and Limerick, actually outside Limerick, we're out as well. And, we'll be doing it here as well. And this is the message we're saying: get out in your local communities, as you have put out, and it's showing that no matter what restrictions they put on us, that this is our home, it's our land, and we're allowed to walk out on our own
100%.
streets.
What did you get a chance to hear that? Listen, did you get a chance to hear that or listen to that article that I read out? You should read it out again.
I did, yeah. I heard every word of it. It's there were certain parts of it I put in comments on it, and it's my heart beats when I heard you read it, actually. And it's the truth of what we're going through, and I put in comments throughout you reading out that article. I hope the people watching and watching the comments and commenting on it will realize that we know we are at war. We know we are being deceived. Dolores Cahill's speech today, again, please, everyone look into Dolores Cahill's speech in Cork today. It's on Etifia's page. I have it live on my own Facebook page. We did it live today. Unfortunately, I was to speak today, but I have a child that's ill, and, family and family units are very important to mind and protect in these times, which an awful lot of people want to be out there, but they are there by heart and soul. And we know that, as I was today for Cork and Dolores. But, every bit of that article is saying what Dolores was saying today. And, we only have to look at London. I've been watching London there for the last couple of days, and they've been out there, some amazing people over in Liverpool.
Absolutely.
It's like, this is the rising, and we're not giving in.
Fantastic, Melissa. And I totally agree. Well done to the people of Liverpool, and I'm sure there are pockets of resistance elsewhere. And I do see an awakening. I think we're in for a very hazardous next 2 weeks because of the elections over in the United States. But we don't speak on anything. I don't know if you're following what's going on over there, but there is going to be huge bombshells. We can't speak about it here because they'll discard the channel. You understand that? But I will speak about it. But I will speak about it over on YouTube. I'll do a whole retweet because we're not restricted over there, and I'll do an exclusive.
But I want people to listen into what Dolores said today, because we've all experienced it. I personally experienced it, of Gardaí, hurting us for people that are stepping out. We are not criminals. We're just speaking out of freedom of speech, but we are being treated like criminals. Dolores has been treated like criminal. I have, and I'm not speaking about this public, but it will become public soon with several court cases going on of how I've been treated as generally just speaking the truth of minding people with disabilities, for instance, and standing up. And there's many of us out there just trying to protect the most vulnerable in our societies that are actually being seriously targeted and hurt, and seriously hurt. And you know, thankfully, as Dolores, if anyone can just listen in on Dolores's speech, it'll give an awful lot of
Well,
insight to
I have
what we're
another.
all going through.
Absolutely,
For
Melissa. I have
speaking
another
up.
article today. I have another article there today because mainstream is starting to pay attention as well. And I know you're only hearing the audio over on D Live and Periscope. I'll work on being able to bring in because it's just showing up on the StreamYard. So StreamYard, you're able to see your own comments over there, but the Periscope, Twitch, and D Live, you have your own up here on the screen here with me at the moment. But let me turn quickly to this that was sent to me earlier on today as well, in regards to the event that happened last week, and it was by Brenda Power in the Sunday Times today. Brenda Power writes, "The left-wing activism flies under the extremism radar." And I'll read it to you briefly. A group of people opposed to lockdown in the belief that the COVID-19 threat is exaggerated organised a protest last weekend to air their views outside Leinster House. As they stood peacefully at the gates, they were set upon by a violent group of masked hooligans. Footage from the event shows this mob aggressively confronting Gardaí as officers attempted to protect the 150 or so people behind the riot barriers. The original crowd of protesters was not belligerent, was not physically threatening anyone, and because they don't believe in the things, for the most part, the campaigners' identities were not conveniently concealed behind face masks. And with a gathering smaller than you could find on a decent Housier tribute act on Grafton Street, they didn't pose any immediate threat to the stability or security of the state. They were just a bunch of people in a country that constitutionally guarantees free speech, trying to express an unpopular opinion. The other crowd was a gang of sinister thugs trying to beat them up. At least it might appear to the disinterested observer, perhaps a news reporter, peaceably group versus violent thugs, no problem figuring out the bad guys in that equation, right? Well, wrong, actually. At least not from the perspective favoured by the majority of the liberal Irish media, because the peaceful protesters, led by the National Party, have been filed under the all-purpose heading far right. And so as far as the prevailing narrative has it, they are always going to be wrong. Melissa, your thoughts?
All right. For someone that has been a public elected member of council for in committee, in committee for 5 years, I'm just seeing a very, very biased media. We're all well aware of the radio stations all receiving 95,000 just recently in the last few weeks to keep this going. As you know, Rowan, and I spoke about it here on your show, where I was going to expose Minister for Finance, Pascal O'Donoghue, on his corruption of taking away rights of those with disabilities in Ireland on a scheme, and never told anyone in the Oireachtas, never told anyone that there was a court case against him. And I exposed that. And that was actually went live last Thursday. Anyone can look into it. It's on my Facebook page. Look into Independent Richard O'Donoghue, where I exposed the Minister for Finance in the Dáil. My questions were asked to Leo of where was all this gone. We're exposing these people morning, noon, and night, and people need to tune in to what we are putting out. We are wore out from working 24/7 for exposing this corruption, and people need to start listening to us and not to them. Harris coming out, Simon Harris, who the whole Dáil wanted to get rid of before the elections. Simon Harris, who was the least most experienced health minister outside of Mary Harney, which we have exposed again in the last 2 days. Mary Harney came out and started up this video doc company that ended up bringing in 4.1 million in funding that she sold in February. She's the chairperson of. This is the same that sold out the cancer screening of Ireland, outsourced it. This is the same woman that set up and was chairperson of a company, Video Doc. Funny, did they not know this pandemic was coming, Ronan, when they were setting up Video Docs? When they brought in 4.1 million, Mary Harney, now ex-Minister of Health of Ireland, and the people of Ireland are still listening to the government ministers of Ireland with this yoke running around creaming it still on the Irish people. Chancellor of the University of Limerick, head pharmaceutical. Then we find out she sold billion to fund it. Are the people of Ireland going to wake up soon or later? That's what I want to ask. Are they awake yet? Because I'm awake and I'm ready to fight.
Dag nabbit, I've done it again. You're dead right, Melissa. My apologies. You can hear me over there, but you can't hear me over here in D-Live. We have to keep the pressure on. I was going to say one of the other characters as well, those that went from NAMA to being a politician to being a European politician, and then came back and joined lobbying firms.
Why are we letting the likes of Mary Harney, former Minister of Health, that brought the HPV vaccine to Ireland, that outsourced our several check to keep on going? Why are we taking the eye off the ball of these people? We need to keep the eye on the ball of these people in this country. They are the knotweed. And guess what? This is the time of the year to get rid of the knotweed in Ireland. And it is Roundup time. And not in their parasite way, but in the Irish way.
Absolutely. Melissa, you're jumping in and out there again, but it's absolutely dead on the money. I'll see you again in the morning. I'm going to let you go because we're running out over the time again. Well done today. Well done to everybody that attended down in Cork. And well done everybody up in Belfast as well. Talk to you soon, Melissa. Okay, sorry about that. A live chat. Couple of sound issues there again, but I think it's just a drag on the feed. Okay, look, we're gonna wrap it up there as well. And because it's working so perfectly well over on the StreamYards, when I upload it over to YouTube, you'll be able to see the visuals over on the YouTube after the show. Big shout out to all of you over on Facebook joining the conversation. And we'll let Nobby in the Facebook live chat have the last word over there. If you tune in afterwards, you'll see that comment on the way over there. Well done from Liz. So with just about that wrapping up the show, just a short little experimental. As I said, this is going to be the kind of new format as we roll forward. I hope it's very pleasing on the eye. Different ways of communications. Don't forget you can follow us. Links in the description box. D-Live. We are now streaming live over there. We are also streaming live now on Twitter and Periscope. Have your say on them platforms here. You can have them here displayed up here beside me. Welcome one, welcome all. Also over on the Facebook gets to have the visual over there for the meantime till I'm able to bring the feed in over here so that you can see it over on D-Live Twitch, but you can still hear the audio, which is just as vitally important. Please, before I let you go, don't forget to smash that like button. Also hit the subscription button if you're new to the show. Please share this on your own platforms. We does help to push us into the algorithms. And please leave your thoughts, comments, and witticisms in the comment section down below. We do love to engage with you down there as well. Also, as we say time and time again, we are demonetized but we are not demoralized, and we rely solely upon your benevolence and generosity. Big shout out and a big thank you to all of you who have contributed. Those of you who have engaged over on the World Wide Web, grandtorino.ie. Without you, we're not able to bring you these shows and reach out and keep contact and introduce these different ideas and maybe start a new conversation here in the Republic of Ireland. If you would, if you could, please smash that like button. The higher we get, the more interaction that we get. Again, it all helps with the algorithms and helps push the platform out into the into people's recommendation list. And if you would, if you could, please consider sending us a snail mail over on PO Box 13179 in Wicklow. We do love to engage with your I'm sorry, I'm spinning six different wheels at the time, and I'm trying to keep the banter going at the same time as well. But how could I be? And I'd be remiss if I didn't include our good friends, the Little Farmer, thelittlfarmer.ie. We love our enzymes so much, we keep them alive. One wheatgrass juice is full of antioxidants. Barley grass juice, the small wonder they're so good. Just shake and shoot, and don't forget to enter in your promotional code over there on the Little Farmer website, World Wide Web, thelittlfarmer.ie. Show them the love, please, ladies and gentlemen. Show them the love. And I sign off, and I leave you with this. You get the audio over there, and you get the visual over there on Facebook till we get to figure it out. See you all again in the morning. Don't forget, we might start doing early morning streams around about 8 o'clock, but for tomorrow, we'll start off at 9. So I'll see you in the morning, 9 o'clock sharp. And if you are late, you understand, 20 push-ups, 20 pull-ups, 20 squats, you make the decision, but get them done and come and join us in the conversation after the fact. Big shout out from the big man. Come on. Over there on Facebook, you're not seeing that over here on D Live on Twitch. My apologies, but like I said, I'll work the creases out. And I'll leave you with the visual over here on Facebook. And I'll see you, like I said, I'll see you all again in the morning. Hope you're enjoying the new kind of layout as I try and work on this to bring you different avenues, different means that we can communicate with each other and stay in touch should the inevitable happen over on YouTube. But I understand there are great movements happening over in the United States. I beseech you, I importune you to keep your eyes focused over there at the moment, because there's a huge breaking story happening out over there. Okay, live chat. See you all in the morning on the D Live Twitch. See you then. Take care of each other. Bye bye.